Life Philosophies Unleashed.
Welcome to a journey through the age of the internet, where kindness is often celebrated as the ultimate virtue. But have you ever paused to consider the potential pitfalls of too much kindness? It might sound absurd at first, but bear with me, fellow Stoic, for there's a lesson from the ancients that we might have overlooked in our modern quest to be the kindest version of ourselves. You see, the Stoics, those wise old souls from ancient Greece and Rome, had a thing or two to say about the balance of virtues. Stay strong, they'd advise, but concentrate on virtue. And while generosity is undoubtedly a virtue, like all good things, it can be taken to an extreme. Overgenerosity, my friends, can sometimes backfire in ways we least expect. Now, before you raise an eyebrow and think I've gone off the deep end, let's embark on a journey together. A journey where we'll explore 8 unexpected ways that an overflow of kindness might just trip us up. We'll dive deep into the teachings of Stoicism, drawing wisdom from the likes of Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. And as we do, I challenge you to reflect on your own acts of kindness. Are they always in balance? Or have you, like many of us, occasionally tipped the scales? If you're new here and this sounds like a journey you're eager to embark on, then give that notification bell a good old ring and subscribe. Go on, I dare you. Together, we'll navigate the intricate dance of virtue, finding the sweet spot between too little and too much. Fellow seekers of wisdom, stay with me as we dive into the unexpected pitfalls of overgenerosity, because sometimes the most profound lessons come from the most unexpected places. 1. Taking on too much. In our fast-paced, interconnected world, the pressure to be kind and helpful is ever present. It's a noble quality to extend a helping hand when someone is in need. But what happens when our desire to be kind leads us to take on more than we can handle? This is where the wisdom of the Stoics comes into play. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers from Greece and Rome, believed in living in accordance with nature, which included understanding our own limitations. They emphasized the importance of knowing the size of our teacup, our capacity for commitments and responsibilities. Just like a teacup can only hold a finite amount of liquid before it overflows, we too have limits to what we can take on. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you enthusiastically volunteered for a task or commitment, only to realize later that it stretched you too thin? It's a common scenario, and the Stoics would remind us that overcommitting isn't just about being kind to others. It's also about being kind to ourselves. Imagine life as a delicate teacup with each commitment or promise representing a drop of tea. Pouring in too much tea leads to an inevitable overflow, creating a mess that affects not only us, but also those we intended to help. So, the Stoic lesson here is clear. While kindness is a virtuous quality, it must be balanced with an understanding of our own limitations. It's not about refusing to help others. It's about helping in a way that is sustainable and true to your own capacity. The little gestures of kindness, such as offering to help pack a few boxes when your friend is moving, can often mean the most and are much more manageable than committing to an entire day. Remember those times when you promised to help at the school fair, attend a birthday party, and visit your grandma all in one day? By the end of it, you were likely exhausted, irritable, and not fully present in any of those activities. That's the weight of overcommitment, and it's a reminder that being kind to yourself first is not selfish. It's a form of self-compassion. So, the next time you feel the urge to promise more than you can realistically handle, take a moment to pause and reflect on your own capacity. It's not just a practical approach. It's a kindness to yourself that ensures you can genuinely and sustainably be there for others when they need you. 2. Always trying to make everyone happy. Kindness is a beautiful virtue. It's the gentle breeze that can soothe the most troubled waters of human interaction. However, when this virtuous quality is taken to the extreme, it can turn into a tiresome and futile endeavor, trying to make everyone happy. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers known for their wisdom, understood that we cannot control the opinions and emotions of others. In their philosophy, the pursuit of trying to please everyone was seen as a fruitless endeavor, driven by our own insecurities and the need for external validation. We've all encountered situations where we found ourselves saying yes when we wanted to say no. We laughed at jokes that didn't amuse us, and we agreed with opinions that clashed with our own beliefs, all in an attempt to be liked by everyone around us. The desire to please everyone can be relentless, but it often comes at a cost to our authenticity and inner peace. Consider the story of Tim, a likable person who constantly bent over backward to seek approval. He wore a shirt he disliked simply because a friend had given it to him. The discomfort he felt throughout the day was a reminder of the lengths to which he went to avoid upsetting others. However, his friend was oblivious to this sacrifice, as is often the case. The Stoics encouraged authenticity as a path to inner harmony. They believed that by being true to oneself, we would naturally attract the right people into our lives. Those who appreciate us for who we genuinely are will gravitate towards us. In contrast, trying to please everyone is a never-ending juggling act, where we wear various masks to accommodate different preferences. The essence of the Stoic message is this: you can't please everyone, nor should you strive to do so. Authenticity and integrity in your actions and interactions are far more valuable than temporary approval. Being kind should never come at the expense of your true self, for it is in being genuine that you will find the most meaningful and lasting connections. So, the next time you find yourself tempted to bend over backward to make everyone happy, remember the Stoic wisdom: be true to yourself, and the right people will naturally gravitate toward you. In the pursuit of kindness, don't forget the importance of being kind to yourself by embracing your authenticity. 3. Thinking you can change people. We all have that innate desire to help others, especially those we care about. It's a noble aspiration to believe that our love, advice, and kindness can change someone for the better. However, the Stoics, those ancient philosophers renowned for their wisdom, had a different perspective on this matter. The Stoics understood that each individual is on their unique life journey, and while we can offer guidance and support, we cannot control the choices and paths of others. In their philosophy, the pursuit of changing people was viewed as a well-intentioned but ultimately futile endeavor. Think of that friend who continually finds themselves in problematic relationships. You've offered advice, lent a listening ear through their heartbreaks, and even gone so far as to set them up with someone truly wonderful. Despite your well-intended efforts, they may continue to repeat the same relationship patterns. It can be incredibly frustrating and disheartening to witness. The Stoic wisdom suggests that everyone is on their individual journey of self-discovery and growth. While it's kind to offer a helping hand and share insights, we cannot walk their path for them. Our love and advice may not always yield the immediate results we hope for, because change is a deeply personal and often gradual process. The Stoics encouraged focusing on our own actions and responses rather than attempting to control or change others. This approach emphasizes personal growth, resilience, and emotional intelligence. It allows us to maintain our own sense of inner peace, even when those we care about make choices we disagree with or perceive as detrimental. While it can be challenging to let go of the desire to change people, sometimes the kindest act is to step back and allow them to make their own choices, even if they lead to mistakes or challenges. In doing so, we respect their autonomy and honor their individual journey, understanding that true transformation is a path that can only be walked by the person themselves. 4. Letting others use you. Kindness is a beautiful quality, And when practiced genuinely, it can light up our lives and the lives of those around us. However, the Stoics, those ancient philosophers known for their wisdom, recognized that, like all virtues, kindness can be taken to an extreme. There is a fine line between being generous and letting others take advantage of your kindness. It's a common scenario. You're a genuinely kind and helpful person, and over time, people start to expect your kindness as the norm. While this might not be their intention, it can lead to a subtle form of exploitation. Let me share a story to illustrate this point. Imagine Lucy, a co-worker in your office who always brings in homemade treats to share with her colleagues. At first, everyone is genuinely grateful for her kindness, and her homemade goodies are a delightful surprise. However, as time passes, her gestures of kindness start to become an expectation. So one day, when Lucy doesn't bring in any treats, there are whispers of disappointment and discontent. Lucy, who had once been genuinely kind-hearted, now feels unappreciated and hurt. The Stoics emphasize the impermanence of things, and this includes acts of kindness. Just as we shouldn't become too attached to external rewards, we also shouldn't become too accustomed to constant acts of kindness from others. It's a delicate balance to strike, to be kind without letting others take your kindness for granted. On the flip side, if you're consistently the one giving and helping others, you should be vigilant about not being taken for granted. While your kindness is a gift, it should never be seen as an obligation. It's essential to establish boundaries and communicate that while you're more than willing to help and be kind, it should never be expected or assumed. The Stoic lesson in this context is clear: balance your kindness. Be generous and compassionate, but also mindful of the limits of your own generosity. Don't let the authenticity of your kindness be eroded by the expectations of others. Remember that acts of kindness should always come from the heart, and they should be appreciated rather than taken for granted. In the journey of life, the balance between being kind to others and ensuring that your kindness is not exploited is vital. Your kindness is a beautiful gift, and by preserving its purity, you can continue to brighten the world and inspire others to follow in your compassionate footsteps. 5. Forgetting to care for yourself. In our pursuit of kindness and generosity towards others, we often overlook a crucial aspect: taking care of ourselves. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers renowned for their wisdom, understood that self-care is not a selfish act, but an essential one. Imagine yourself as a vehicle, a car, for instance. You're constantly giving others a lift, helping them reach their destinations. But what happens if you neglect to refuel, maintain your engine, and take the time to recharge your batteries? Just like a car that hasn't been cared for, you'll eventually break down on the side of the road. The story of Alex, a friend of mine, serves as a poignant example. Alex was known for always being there for everyone, consistently putting the needs of others before his own. He would go out of his way to help friends, family, and colleagues. While his selflessness was admirable, it came at a significant cost to his own well-being. Over time, Alex became increasingly drained and exhausted. He felt unappreciated, as his acts of kindness were often taken for granted. Eventually, he reached a breaking point, a state of burnout that was neither pretty nor sustainable. The Stoics emphasized the importance of self-care, not as a selfish act, but as an essential one for maintaining one's well-being. Just as a car needs regular maintenance and refueling to perform optimally, we need self-care to navigate life's challenges successfully. Self-care includes setting boundaries, taking time for relaxation, and ensuring that you allocate resources, including time and energy, for yourself. It is not a neglect of your responsibilities towards others, but a recognition that caring for yourself is a prerequisite for effectively caring for others. In the Stoic philosophy, self-care is not seen as a hindrance to kindness, but as an enhancement of it. A well-maintained soul, one that is nurtured and cared for, is better equipped to handle the challenges of the world and continue to offer genuine and sustainable kindness to others. So, in your pursuit of kindness, remember that taking time for yourself is not a selfish act, but a necessary one. Just as a car must refuel to continue helping others reach their destinations, you must practice self-care to be the best version of yourself and offer kindness from a place of strength and balance. 6. Avoiding disagreements at all costs. Conflict is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs. It's uncomfortable, awkward, and can strain relationships. In our pursuit of kindness and harmony, we may find ourselves avoiding conflicts, believing that we are being considerate. However, the Stoics, those wise philosophers of ancient times, had a different perspective on this matter. Avoiding conflict, while it may seem kind in the short term, can lead to more significant issues in the long run. The Stoics believed in facing challenges head-on, not to pick fights, but to address issues before they become deep-seated problems. In their philosophy, avoidance of conflicts can lead to festering resentments, unspoken grievances, and even misunderstandings that may have been easily resolved if addressed timely. Consider the scenario of a flatmate who continually leaves dirty dishes around the shared living space. You might avoid confronting the issue, thinking it's the kind thing to do, and instead you clean up after them. However, over time, your annoyance grows, and one day, you explode over something trivial. This is a prime example of how avoiding conflict can lead to more significant issues. The Stoic approach was rooted in their belief that confronting challenges directly was a form of kindness to yourself and others. It's not about seeking out disputes or arguing needlessly, but about addressing issues before they escalate. This is a more considerate approach, as it acknowledges the importance of open communication, the sharing of concerns, and the resolution of conflicts in a healthy and productive manner. By embracing conflict when necessary and addressing disagreements directly, you demonstrate kindness to both yourself and others. You prevent minor irritations from turning into significant resentments and maintain healthier, more transparent relationships. This Stoic perspective reminds us that, in the long run, facing conflicts head-on is often the kindest and most considerate course of action, for it promotes understanding, harmony, and growth. So, the next time you find yourself tempted to avoid a disagreement to maintain a semblance of peace, remember the Stoic wisdom: facing challenges head-on is not about seeking conflict, but about ensuring that kindness and understanding prevail in the end. 7. Giving too much. Generosity is a noble and admirable virtue. It's a quality that warms the heart, creates connections, and makes the world a better place. However, the Stoics, those ancient philosophers renowned for their wisdom, understood that, like all virtues, generosity can be taken to an extreme, leading to unintended consequences. Imagine generosity as a beautiful river flowing with kindness and compassion. It enriches the lives of those it touches, and it's a force for good in the world. However, like a river that can overflow its banks, excessive generosity can sometimes have unexpected and adverse effects. The Stoics believed in the principle of moderation, and this applied to generosity as well. While giving to others is a noble and virtuous act, it must be balanced with wisdom and prudence. The Stoics urged individuals to find the middle ground between giving and retaining. Consider the story of Sarah, a kind-hearted woman who was known for her unbridled generosity. She would lend money to friends in need, donate to various causes, and offer her time and resources without hesitation. Her intentions were undoubtedly virtuous, but over time, she found herself in financial straits. When she faced a challenging situation and needed assistance, the very people she had helped seemed conspicuously absent. Sarah's story serves as a reminder that while generosity is a beautiful virtue, it should be tempered with wisdom, The Stoics would encourage us to ensure that our own needs are met before extending our generosity to others. It's not about being stingy or selfish. It's about being sustainable and responsible. To be genuinely kind and generous, we must assess our capacity for giving, whether it's time, resources, or emotional support. We should give freely, but not to the point of depleting ourselves. Just as a river needs to maintain its flow while staying within its banks to nourish the land it passes through, our generosity should be kept in check to ensure that we can continue to help others in a meaningful and sustainable way. The Stoic perspective on generosity is a call for balance. It's an acknowledgement that we must prioritize our well-being while extending our kindness to others. By finding that middle ground, we can ensure that our acts of generosity are truly virtuous and have a positive impact, both on others and on ourselves. So, in your journey of kindness and generosity, remember that the Stoic wisdom of moderation applies. Be generous, be kind, but also be wise in assessing your own capacity and ensuring that your giving is sustainable and meaningful. 8. Needing others' approval. In the age of the internet and social media, the way we perceive and express kindness has undergone a significant transformation. While sharing acts of kindness online can inspire and motivate others, it's essential to examine our underlying motivations. Are we driven by genuine compassion and empathy, or are we seeking external validation and approval? The Stoic philosophy, rooted in timeless wisdom, emphasizes the intrinsic value of our actions. It encourages us to act in ways that align with our virtuous principles, rather than seeking recognition and praise from others. As Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This profound wisdom reminds us that true virtue lies in our actions, not in the recognition they receive. Seeking external validation and approval can dilute the authenticity of our kindness and turn it into a transaction, rather than a genuine act of compassion. Consider the scenario of individuals who perform acts of kindness primarily for the purpose of receiving likes, shares, and applause on social media platforms. While their intentions may begin with compassion, the desire for recognition can slowly creep in, overshadowing the authenticity of their kindness. This shift can lead to a disconnect between their true intentions and their actions. The Stoics would encourage us to focus on the intrinsic value of our actions. Instead of seeking external validation, we should act out of a genuine desire to alleviate suffering and make the world a better place. By doing good for its own sake, we embrace the true essence of virtue, which resides in the purity of our intentions and the impact of our actions. When kindness becomes a transaction, its authenticity diminishes. The Stoic perspective challenges us to transcend the need for external approval and instead find fulfillment in the knowledge that our actions align with our virtuous principles. In the age of digital sharing, let's remember that the most profound and lasting acts of kindness are those that come from the heart, without the expectation of recognition. True virtue, as the Stoics remind us, is found in being kind for its own sake, a path that leads to the most genuine and meaningful connections with others. So, in your pursuit of kindness, let the Stoic wisdom guide you. Act from the heart, be true to your virtuous principles, and find fulfillment in the intrinsic value of your actions rather than seeking external validation. Well, there you have it, the winding road of kindness with its unexpected twists and turns. Who'd have thought, right? In our world of likes, shares, and endless scrolling, it's easy to forget the age-old wisdom of the Stoics. But as we've seen, their teachings are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. Now, fellow Stoics, as we stand at the crossroads of reflection and action, I invite you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Have you ever found yourself caught in the snare of excessive kindness? Your stories are the stars that light up this Stoic community, guiding and inspiring fellow travelers on the path of life. So, let's remember the Stoic lessons, find that balance, and embrace the true essence of kindness. One that not only benefits others, but also nourishes our own souls. In a world where kindness is celebrated, let's make sure it's genuine, sustainable, and, above all, in harmony with the wisdom of the ages.